In this video, we will be working a bit with dates. How can you take some dates and compare them? Which date is bigger than another? How can you add a number of days to a date? And not at least, how do you convert an imported date? It could be from a database or from a spreadsheet or from a CSV file or a text file. Then often these dates, they come over in text format. And how do you convert that into a date format so that you can compare them? Because if they are text format, how can you compare one text string to another text string and say which one is bigger than the other? Or how can you add a number of dates to something that is a text string? That doesn't really work. We need to convert it to date format and then add days to it. Let's grab a cup of coffee. And then let's just get going. So let's look at a little example here. Here I have defined two variables, a date 1 and a date 2. And I've typed in a text string here. And you can see it has a citation mark. So these are text strings. So I have 2 days. And it's basically a piece of text, each of those. And you can say, why don't you just make them date variables from the beginning? But you see, often you are not in control of that. If you import data from a CSV file or a database, they might come in as text strings. And then what? How do you compare a text string to a text string in size? So let's try it out here. So I wrote a little if sentence and say, if date 1 is smaller than date 2, then print date 1 is smaller than date 2. Else print date 2 is bigger than date 1. And it should actually be like an equal as well. So if we do this here, will this actually work? Let's try to run it. And surprisingly enough, it does. It says date 1 is smaller than date 2. So far it was able, even though we had it as a text string, it was able to compare the size of these two. But what if we go a step further here and say, add 15 days to date 1. Now we could try that, and then we can say, we create a new variable up here. We call it days. We set it equal to 15. So far, so good. And that's actually a number I have there. It's not a string variable, a text string. So now we can go down here and try to program. And then we can say date 3. Oh. And we set that equal to date 1 plus, and then we say days. And we want nothing with capitals here. So now we add the variable days, that is a number 15, we add it to here. What will happen then? Let's try to run it. And now you see, now we're in trouble. It could do the comparison, it still does that. But look here, now it gives us a warning. We take a text string and we add a number to a text string. What would be the result of that? That doesn't work. So we have to do this a different way. To actually make this work, I will have to take my date 1 and date 2 up here and actually convert them to variables with a real date format in them. And the way to do that is I say date 1 and now I call it underscore object, and date 2 underscore object is just another variable. But now I take these dates I had up here from before that were text strings, and I convert them into a real date format. And for that, I need to use a function called datetime. It's a module that is in Python. So I actually need to call that. And I use this strp time. That's a function where you can define the format with these parameters for how you want the date to show. And as you see up here, I have 2022-03-17. That's the format I have in my variables. So I want a date with that format, but not a text, a date. So to be able to use these down here, I need to go up in the beginning here and import these functions to my program. So I can say from date time import date time. And to be able to show that this actually works, I will just hash out this here so it doesn't execute. Okay. So instead I want here now, I just want to put a print in. Print date1 underscore object. And I want a print and it's date2 underscore object. Oh, I need the parentheses here. And then let's try to run this. And now you see here, now it actually works. I got 2022-03-17, and then it has the hours, minutes, and seconds as well. But that doesn't matter. It's the first part. The date is not the time. It's the date we're interested in here. So that actually worked. I got my variables up here converted to a real date format. And now let's try to go to do some manipulation of it so we can add 15 days to it. So let's try to look at here. Here we have our date 3. We set equal to date 1. It was this one plus the date variables. And that didn't work. Now we can try to take this date 1 and now change it to the new date that is in a date format. So I can write underscore object 1. And then let's see, can we now add the 15 days to that date object? Let's try to run it. And see down here, no, we cannot. Because reality is we have a date consisting of year and then month and then day. And when I say I add this value here that was 15, what does it add it to? The year, or does it add it to the month or to the day? So now we need to tell what this is. So we need to make a change there. So to tell down here in this calculation that for this date there, I'm adding this variable days there, but I'm adding it to, oh, it should be days. I'm adding it to the days, not the month and not the years. To tell that, I need to use this function called time delta. That is very nice to know. Time delta, and then you say it's days I'm adding. And it's the integer value of days. And I used to do that because often you get this here in as from a CSV file. You would get it in as a text variable like this here. And if it's a text variable, it wouldn't work. Now you need to make sure that it looks at it as a number, and you do that by putting integer in front. I have a red line under here, and that's because I haven't imported that function, the time delta. So I need to go up here and add time delta. And now we can try to run it. Now we get no error codes, and then we just say print date 3. And then let's run it again. And look at the date 3 now here. 0401, and here you had date 1, it was 0317. So here we have added 15 days to date 1. Now it works. So the whole key in this here is to be able to work with dates. You need to make sure that your variables you store the dates in, that they are converted to actual dates, not text strings. Then you can start comparing them. You can be adding days, adding months, adding years by using this time delta function. So that's the key in this. I hope you really enjoyed this video here from Python Learning by Doing. If you did, and if you found this helpful, please hit the like and the subscribe buttons so that we can continue to make more videos like this. That would help me out a lot. So thank you in advance. Also check out the links here on the screen. There will be links to other videos from Python Learning by Doing. And I can promise you there will be a lot of good tips and tricks for how to improve your programming skills. Thank you for watching.